With this card right here, you can get up to a $5,000 credit line. What's up, winners? My name is Nam. If you're new here, welcome. Here we talk all things personal finance and credit. Start now by subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos. In today's video, I will be reviewing the Jasper credit card. I have mentioned this card previously in my older videos, but I wanted to do a dedicated video since I still receive so many questions about this card in particular. The Jasper MasterCard is formerly known as Credit Stacks and is particularly helpful for working professionals with little to no previous credit history and individuals who recently arrived to the US and look to obtain credit. Because the truth of the reality is, without any sort of credit history or even a social security number, it's going to be very difficult for many to try to apply for some credit cards. This is where Jasper is different compared to most companies. If you do have a credit score, they'll check it out, but if you have no credit history, it's no problem because credit history is not a requirement to apply. So now let's go over the credit check portion of this application. I think this is where a lot of people get confused. If you are new to the US and you have no social security number, whenever you do apply for this card, there will be no credit check. But you will be required to provide a social security number within 60 days after applying for this card. If you are an individual who has yet to get a social security number, then you would have to submit your passport and visa information alongside with your proof of income and work address. But for individuals who are US citizens, US permanent residents, and who have been living here in the US for more than a year, they will run a hard inquiry with the credit bureaus whenever you do apply. The only way to avoid having a hard inquiry is to pre-qualify. This will give you the best odds to determine whether or not you should go ahead and apply for this credit card. Some of the other requirements and qualifications that are needed is that you must be 18 years or older, must provide your personal information, financial information, and must be able to provide your social security number within 60 days. For individuals who are new to the US or here on a work visa, locating to the US and trying to get access to credit can be very difficult, but Jasper does make the process a little bit easier. Now let's move on to the cashback. The card only offers 1% cashback, which is nothing special, but it is pretty standard with entry-level credit cards, but there are possibilities of better options out there for you. Now let's go over some of the benefits that the Jasper card has to offer. Since this is a MasterCard, you get all of the benefits and perks that come along with MasterCards. You get access to MasterCard travel and lifestyle services. This allows you to get discounts and upgrades at hotels and airlines, and you also have a concierge. Alongside that, you also get purchase assistance, meaning that within 60 days, new products are covered against damage, death, or loss. Some other perks that you do get with this card is satisfaction guaranteed, cell phone protection, collision damage waiver, travel accident insurance, trip cancellation, baggage delay insurance, lost luggage insurance, and identity theft protection. There are a few other ones that I missed, but these are the key ones that I wanted to mention. Now let's move on to the terms and the fees. There can be an APR ranging anywhere between 15.49% all the way up to 24.99%. With any credit card, I do suggest I never recommend having a balance past the due date. You want to make sure that you always pay on time and make your balances in full so you would have to avoid those high interest fees. But on a positive note, there's no annual fees, no foreign transaction fees, and balance transfer fees. Having no balance transfer fees on a card is fairly rare these days, and the only ones that actually do not have them are usually balance transfer cards, but even then, they will charge you with a $5 fee or percentage depending on the amount. But again, since this card does not offer 0% APR for a certain amount of time, there's really no point in doing a balance transfer. If you are ever late to a payment, meaning that you're not able to make the minimum payment on time, you'll get hit with a late fee up to $27. Now let's talk about how high of a credit limit that you can get with Jasper. It is advertised that Jasper can approve you for a credit limit up to $5,000. This is relatively high compared to most cards out there that are targeted towards individuals with limited credit history. But there are other underwriting factors that Jasper does take into consideration when determining your credit limit. Now, since you guys have an understanding of what Jasper is all about, now let's compare this card to other cards that are currently on the market that target similar demographics. So the first card that I will be comparing this card to will be the Tomo credit card. Even though this card is labeled as a credit card, it's more like a charge card, meaning that you are not allowed to put a balance on this card. So for every week or month, you would have to pay the balance off in full. What I really like about the Tomo card is that this is truly a card that does not require any credit history nor to do a credit check. So the only thing that they are requiring you to do is to link your bank accounts to their system so they can take a look at your transactions to determine your eligibility. You can actually get approved for a credit line up to $10,000. But in my situation, I was only able to get approved for $1,000, so it does vary. I did do an in-depth review of this card, so I'll post a link down in the description or up here. But one of the key differences is that even though this card gets reported to the credit bureaus, it is different from what a credit card should be. Since you're not able to maintain a balance on this card, which I really don't think is a negative thing. Now the next card that I will be comparing Jasper to will be the Deserve EDU MasterCard. The way that this card is similar to Jasper is that you do not need a social security number whenever you are applying for this card. But one of the key differences is that Jasper is more targeted towards working professionals who may just transfer to the US, but the Deserve card is more targeted towards international students. But as a college credit card, this card does have some pretty great benefits. You get 1% cash back on all of your purchases. You also get cell phone protection, no foreign transaction fees, and no annual fee. And lastly, they will also give you a Prime student account free for a year, which is a killer deal, especially if you are a college student. So to apply for this card, there is a pre-qualification that you can go through that doesn't hurt your credit score, but if you do decide to move forward, this will result in a hard inquiry. So when it's all said and done, Jasper can be a great option for those who are new to the US. But for individuals who are established here, just be worried that hard inquiries will happen if you do decide to apply for this card. But for those looking to build credit with a limit credit history, this may be a viable option since this truly is a credit card and it has no annual fees. Most cards out there that are targeted towards individuals who are looking to build credit may have an annual fee or require to have a security deposit. If you guys haven't already, make sure you give this video a like because that really helps support the channel. I'll see you guys in my next videos.